Morning, fellow creators. Ben here from Cinder Studios. I'm already mic'd up because I actually just finished recording this week's video. Oh, I can check that off my list now, come to think of it. I'm starting to run out of ideas on my video list, so I got to start coming up with stuff. Yeah, it's just after 9 a.m. I can't remember if I already said that or not on Saturday. And yeah, finished recording the week's art video. That's going up probably sometime Sunday afternoon when I have a little more time. I'm going to try and put a little studio time in. I do have to run a painting about an hour up the road, maybe 45 minutes or so, to a gallery where it's going to go in a show in July. And that's sometime, it's like between 11 and 3, I think is my time window for that. So it should still give me a decent amount of time to get some studio work done. So I want to go ahead and get started on that because I'm stupid excited to get started today. Okay, so things to do today, aside from the dropping that piece off. Art, this guy, which I started last week. Wait, last week? Maybe I think it was 2 weeks ago because I was really busy last weekend and I've been really like unmotivated to do anything, and I was not having a great brain day yesterday at work, so I'm really trying to get myself motivated and back in and music and everything for today's studio day, and I really should say studio weekend. So in addition to wanting to get this painting at least mostly done, if not completely done, I probably could. It's not a super complex design. It's driving me freaking crazy. Use a Kleenex like a Kleenex for a change. It's not a super complex design, but there's a lot of elements in it, and it's really just about layering the color right and everything like that. The last one I finished, which is upstairs, which I started actually at the same time I started this one, I finished up and it's upstairs, so that's where that's at. Oh, you know what? I do want to do this first, though. I'm trying to get some other things taken care of with 6 billion fasteners and stuff, and I can never find any of them. Looks like I may actually have to get some of those if I don't have any in here. Thanks to my late friend, I got all these 6 billion types of... Oh no, there's a whole bunch. Yeah, I was gonna say. Here. It's one of the things from my late friend's pile. It's literally a tackle box full of every possible type of hook, fastener, or frame supply tool that you could ever possibly need. When all else fails, check the tackle box. Staples, pins, glue, you name it. All right, screw eyes. Are there nails in there too? Yes, there are, but I actually don't need the nails because they'll be too long of a thing. Okay. So a couple of my sample ones from when I was doing the first initial pouring thing, these guys, are coming with me to the art crawl, which is in 2 weeks. So I actually really have to start kind of gearing up for that. So I got to photograph stuff and inventory it. I got to start doing promotional stuff on Instagram, as well as the Facebook page where the event actually is. I've got stuff to update in my sale spreadsheet stuff. I got to bag down prints. So a lot of should say housekeeping kind of stuff. But first things first, I'm getting sawtooth hooks on the back of these because they're going to go in the sale pile for the show, or the crawl, I should say, not only the show. And then, you know what? I want a square for this. No need to make things harder with a ruler when you can just get a square out of the garage and get a nice straight line that way. Sort of, what? Doesn't even look right. Okay. think it's the wood that's a little bit warped, so it's just screwing with my perception. Okay. And I'll find center. 5.5, which becomes 1/2, 2 3/4. No. Yeah. No. Wait. Oh, it's gonna be a weird size, isn't it? Hold on. Oh, I gotta do math. Shit. 5.5. Well, okay. Well, 5. Half of 5 is 2.5. So, yeah, it is 2 3/4. I was right the first time. Second guessing myself constantly. Put this back before I forget, because I will. So the other bigger part of the art crawl thing is this is going to be the first time in probably a while, especially since I got everything into that portfolio book the last time, that I will be. Almost thought I put that back without getting 2 of them out first. I will be bringing some larger pieces with me, because previously I've just focused on the prints because I've kept everything in that box. And it's going to depend a little bit on where my placement is on the street compared to where the gallery is. But I'm hoping I'll be able to bring at least some in the range of 12 by 24 or smaller, and probably no more than like 4 or 5. And I may or may not also live paint for that event. I haven't done that in a long time. What I appreciate about it is it'll give me something to do, because just sitting there letting people walk back and forth and not really... I mean, I love interacting with people doing that, but there are often times where in between droves of people where you're just sitting there bored, and if I don't put my party tent up, I will also sit there and burn. So I'd like to be working on something to at least keep myself a little bit otherly distracted, I guess you could say. Damn. This is such a weird precision thing of putting staples into the wood, but you got to line it up with the hole, and it's just literally it's just guessing. It's ridiculous. There's one. Good. Hey, all right. Ow, fuck balls. Damn. Damn! Damn! There we go. Alright. In theory, I should throw a piece of paper underneath this before I put it on the base of my table so I don't ruin any of the art itself, but it's tough. So those will go in that pile. Alright, I'm going to sit these up on the steps, so I remember to take them up with me and get pictures of them. I'm like, at least, actually, well, maybe not. I think the last 3 paintings I've done, I don't have a picture of yet. And it's supposed to be nice and sunny today, so that's the goal. All right, let's actually paint today. Well, I have at most maybe 2 hours right now. It should still be enough to at least get sort of the background mountain done. So, palette. So this is actually one of my favorite parts of when I'm working on a piece, is when I start dropping in sort of my first big highlight layer. Because I'm able to really kind of sculpt out the land a little bit. I mean, I do it to some degree with the first layer of paint, but this is the first time it like really starts to show up. Alright, so I feel pretty good about that. At this point, before I get started with pushing my highlights and shadows on those rock layers more, I do want to get a base layer so I can start working in the grass eventually here. Because it'll be a few different layers of grass because I have so many overlapping elements here, so it'll have to be like a back layer, and then like paint the first one of these rings, and then do another layer of the grass, and then paint the next one and some more of the rock elements in the foreground, and then another layer of grass. So it's going to be a lot of back and forth, back and forth. So I think for me, it would be best to keep my colors relatively simple, so I don't have to think about mixing bigger batches of stuff or trying to hold on to like this initial grass layer by the time I get to this grass layer. But first things first, I want to get a base dark, a washy base dark. So I'm going to mix up some high flows here. I've got an indigo, alizarin crimson hue, Liquitex ink, so I'm going to grab this a vivid red orange, a couple of big squirts of that. Oh, there it goes. It's running. It's running. Running down a dream here, just for the hell of it. Drop a hand's yellow. Alright. Ooh, you know what? I also want to grab, for this purpose, but a little wetting agent. I have a pipette, don't I? Somewhere. I don't think I've used that thing in like 10 years, but I know I've got one. I do have droppers. Crap. The one time you need something and it's not anywhere.
It was just here!
Oh, shit, there it is. Got it. Old science kit pipette. That's why you keep this stuff around. Okay. In with my watercolor stuff. Alright. Now, nice, large, softer brush. Where is that one? Yep. Okay. Mix all that mess together. Looks like the blue ended up being my most dominant color in that. That's okay. Yeah. That's mostly blue actually now. Jeez. All those other colors did nothing. Alright. Probably maybe a little more of that texture in where the rocks are actually. Okay. Yeah, get a little more of that soaking in effect there. That is what I still want to call it flow release, wetting agent. That's what it used to be called. So it's staining the canvas more than it's just sitting on top of it. Okay, that feels pretty good. That did exactly what I was hoping it would, and just kind of stained that and took away the white. Allowed me to start seeing the values in this baseland a little better. Okay, now that hand is pretty messed up. And sure enough, from what I can see, I already splattered on the sky. So, get to fix that now. The worst part about it is, you guys probably can't even see them. But I can, and it will drive me insane if I leave them sit. But since I literally just did it, scraping them off should not be difficult. Should. At least to the point where they're a little less obvious, especially right over the yellow. Alright. That takes care of the major ones at least. I'm okay with that. It's just like when it was right, like dark mark right on the yellow. It's like no, 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 no.
Nope, nope, nope. The land of 10,000 nopes.
And like nowhere near the rocks too. Like there's still some in here, but those are a lot more forgivable than right next to the sun. In the past, I've done things like turn them into birds and things, but I think I'll hold off on turning them into birds. Okay, so I want to do an extra highlight layer, and then it's probably going to be just zinc white and a little bit of this yellow, just to add a little more of that brighter frostiness to it, and then I can start working on grass. Okay, so this is feeling pretty good. Actually, I'm weirdly reminded of a piece I did in 2014 or 15 called Rebirthing. Actually, I think there's a painting process video. It's one of the earlier painting process videos here on the channel for it. But I'm flexing a lot of techniques and muscles that I haven't used probably, I don't know, like since that piece, but for a while. Actually, when I did Vacuum Stratosphere a couple weeks ago, I was using some of those techniques as well. So I feel pretty good about this. I used my yellow and green are both mixtures of yellows and greens that I have. So there's an Indian yellow and Cad yellow medium for my yellow mix, and then the titanium buff for the lighter sections. And then the greens are a mix of the sap green and the chromium oxide dark that I picked up recently. So it still kind of has the glow and the warmth of just using the sap and the Indian yellows, or sap green and Indian yellow, but also brings a little more of a richer color to it, which I really like. All right, so I've about enough time. I've got like 10 or 15 minutes now. I want to switch to a slightly smaller watercolor brush for acrylics. So I should have just barely enough time to get this first ring done, or at least the base of the first ring done. So I really like the gray that's in my used paint number 2 jar, and I'm probably going to use that for the main color for all 3 of these. The background, I want them to be distinctly different from the background colors, but still relatively similar. So they'll mostly be relatively dark, and then there's symbols that are going to be in them, which will glow sort of like a greenish blue, probably, although given a nice offset, maybe an orange or even a purple might be a better glow. Haven't really decided on that yet. The point is, I need to get these things started in terms of their base color. And I don't have a lot of time yet before I have to clean up, get some pictures of my artwork, and then drop that piece off at that show. So I do have to switch gears very, very soon here, but should give me just barely enough time to get this ring painted. Okay, so I did the other one too, the second one. And as I was doing this, I realized I should have resketched these lines because I'm pretty sure this, well, at least this one I already screwed up on because now it looks longer than it should be, in which case it should be spitting out here more. It's still going to sit behind it. As I worked some of this, I also realized there's actually a spot up here in the sky where I didn't paint enough in, so now there's a white spot. Now I could go back in, mix up some of this blue, or at least attempt to mix up some of this blue and fix that. But I think it would be more reasonable for this piece, since these are sort of ancient things buried in the ground and decay and, you know, post-apocalyptic stuff like I do all the time anyway. I want to put a couple of spots on here, basically one to hide my mistakes, but two to give an idea that these have been here longer. So I'm going to put some grass or moss kind of hanging and growing on top of some of these a little bit. It's twofold. It will look better for the piece. It'll make a more dynamic story and composition, as well as it'll hide the mistakes that I've made going through. Okay, so I absolutely do have to stop right now. It's 11 o'clock. Anytime between now and I think it was, again, 2 or 3. It's probably 2, actually, so I have a lot more limited of a window than I probably think I do. So I'm going to get to this stuff cleaned up, go grab a couple of pictures of my work, and head down to that gallery, or I should say up to that gallery, because it's northeast a little bit from here. Well, I think it might just be east. Whatever. It's not important. What is important is that I made some decent progress on this. Hoping to get back to it a little later today, but I also might end up switching gears when I come back to do more of the promotional stuff and prints and all that. Also, before I say see you later, it's going to stick with this vlog just for today. My vlogs have been running way too freaking long. So I want to keep it a little more condensed and simplified, probably just to Saturdays, or occasionally a little bit leading up to Saturday. And then, based on the meshing of the weeks, the next vlog will be at the art crawl, so that video will end up being probably going up late the Sunday the 10th, and in between. Wait a minute, hold on. Oh no, it'll be later. So by the time you guys see the vlog about the art crawl will have been over. Because I forgot I missed a regular video last week, so it's back and forth, back and forth. Okay, let me get this stuff cleaned up, and I will check back in with you guys a little bit later. All right, so I am back with lunch. Drop my piece off at the... Every time I screw with the exposure, wait a second. There, Artist Choice Exhibition. Ding. This is the guild show for July that I took that splattery piece to. So, still in a good mood. Getting back, I'm going to eat. More strange eating in the studio things, which I try to avoid, but sometimes it just works out that way. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Lunch, then back to painting. Since it's like 90 degrees today, and as much as I have some outside stuff to do, I'm not going to do it in 90-degree weather, because that's ridiculous. So, let me eat. Well, now that I've eaten, and it's 1:30, I don't want to do anything else. But I may not get started painting today. My exposure's off again. Shocker. What? I can't even move it. Switch that off. Alright, so one thing I do need to do that's on my list is look at some pieces to bring with me to the art crawl that are I don't want to bring this kind of sizes, but something that's small enough to carry, but is also relatively new. Actually, the Kingdom of the Wind canvas print, that can go. Nice sort of variety of stuff, you know. Things that maybe have been less successful in the gallery, but because it'll be on the street and it'll be like an actual bigger thing, somewhat more reasonable that way. That's more red and such. Bloodspire from 2018. Slate ones tend to be harder to transport. This is a nice little watercolor piece that's actually in a frame. That's probably reasonable. And then, well, to be honest, that's probably enough. I was never super happy with this one, but it's still relatively new. I think one or two that I have upstairs as well would probably be good. Kind of want to stack, or you know what? I'm going to do this. Get a few of them out and about, and set up sort of a view of what sort of it might look like at the show, and then use that as the Instagram promo. Okay then, so get this up and around and in. Plus I don't want to show everything that I've got for the show before the show, because that would be a little too much info right out of the gate. But it's not going to be, unless I hold on. Let me just do this mildly dangerous thing, and I've got light glare. Perfect, great, wonderful. That's better. Okay, that will work. Everything I got out, I'm going to take up and sit in the corner upstairs. Okay. So that's that. Right, taking these upstairs. Almost forgot the second I did it. Alright, those have been selected. I got the promo done. So I can check those off my list. I did photograph the stuff. I do have to inventory them and post the pages online, but that's not going to take me a whole hell of a lot of time. Everything else right now is kind of desk work, so yeah, I'm probably going to leave it at that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call this a vlog, because if I try to do anything more, it'll take way too long. I do have a bunch of other stuff planned, but I will save that for the next vlog and the next video. And it's even starting to get kind of hot down here at this point. So yeah, I will be working on this again Sunday evening when I do my maybe Sunday morning a little bit, but for sure Sunday evening when I do my next Discord hangout. So in the meantime, thanks guys for checking this one out. Keep on creating, and this has been from Cinder Studios, and I'll see you guys next time.